The show just lost monetization because of the Bad to the Bone song. Just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because of the Baruch Hashem, the Hebrew.
No, that too. Too Jewish. Welcome to Wake Up America show. It's Freedom Family Friday. And Steffi's got her voice back.
I do. I am better. The antibiotics and the steroids, they helped me. I still have a lingering cough, though. So I still take inhalers regularly.
You cough all the time. Good morning.
It's going to take a while. I mean, I every time I get pneumonia or bronchitis, it takes a toll on my lungs.
Can I just say thank you to Quest Fanning? I saw him last night in the other shows on the For Liberty Network being so generous. He made a donation now. So did John Rail.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are so, you don't realize like how big a difference you're making in our lives when you do stuff like that. We really are grateful for you.
Yep.
John Rail, Entropy Nomad, he's also been very generous with us.
Yeah,
he's
the one who was in studio live with you.
Dude, Bruce Burtwhistle is here every day. Sometimes he is the first person here.
Yeah.
Then you got Southcott from Alderney, freaking Alderney.
Oh, Southcott's cool. He sent us a really cool Christmas card too.
Our people are freaking amazing. Captain Tight Pants I see him a lot. We have yet to kind of get to know Captain Tight Pants. Richard Bell, my old buddy. I will always remember being in Maine eating lobster with Richard Bell. We had such a great conversation. Also a veteran. Thank you for your service, Mr. Bell.
Wow.
Barney Styles as well. I love all these names. They're so clever. Y2 Joe. John and I were playing Call of Duty yesterday for a minute. We're going to play it again tonight for Freedom.
Oh, you were playing Call of Duty off stream?
Yesterday off stream.
Funny.
Yeah, we kind of snuck in a game. But my connection died right in the middle of it.
Wow.
Kermode Bear is here as well. He posted yesterday that postcard that he got in Latrell, L-Dubs. You guys rock.
Oh, yes. The infamous campaign postcards.
Captain Tight Pants says, you know me. Bro, it's one thing to learn everybody's names, but then to also memorize everybody's names and their screen names, it's a little bit...
I know, because when I was making calls to people...
forget.
When I was making calls to people individually months ago, I'd be like, oh, hi, and I thought I was talking to someone totally new, and then they're like, this is my actual name. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I thought you were somebody else.
Right. And then sometimes you like memorize their screen name, but you forget their real name.
Yes.
Entropy Nomad says, trying to wake up early, get the show. 5 a.m. is rough. I know, bud. We appreciate you.
Yeah. You and your family are truly troopers.
No, absolutely. And we've already raised 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost $10.
Oh, thank you.
Towards the bonus content.
It is Hazel's birthday month after all. Her birthday's coming in a week and a half. So
absolutely. Yeah.
We gotta give her some gifts.
Yeah, we did. Well, we gave her as a gift, I don't think it's any secret. She's going to find out because she's upstairs asleep, and she doesn't watch podcasts yet. She's turning 1.
Oh, she does. She's got her little remote control. So many shows. It says she's got like so many shows, so little time.
But we went in together for her gift this year, which is we really like those. What do you call them? The push carts or the pull carts?
So actually, one of the families on the DC Liberty tour had it.
Yeah.
Because they have 2 little ones, and it's like a wagon, like a little wagon. That's very sturdy, and it's got little seats in it, and you can basically pull your kid around, and they can just like play in there.
You can clip a fan to it. They can. Ours is going to have like a little table so they can eat. So
oh wow, there's a table in there too. Oh my goodness.
So that's what it goes towards. John Rail, as well as growing out.
I know
the
John has taken very
Network.
good care of Hazel. He has given her lots of gifts. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. We appreciate that. So. All right, so what are we talking about today? What was that video that I was playing? That was Javier Milei. I'm just laughing at his clone dogs. We're going to talk about Javier Milei's.
Oh, yeah, his dogs are cloned. I forgot about that.
Yes, so that's why I played that clip.
I know he has a ton of dogs. Doesn't he have like 5 dogs?
Yeah, well, here's the... I'm glad you brought that up because I've got all this data about all the amazing economic things that he has done in Argentina, and we will get there, and it will be a great conversation. And Justin Peterson will be here, and we will have a great conversation with Justin.
Yes.
So don't worry about all the baby talk and all the goofing around. Friday, we do goof around a lot, and it's not as like hardcore me going topic to hardcore guest to all that stuff. All right, Friday's a little bit more loose. It's a little more fun. So we will get to all of the news stuff at some point. We'll work our way that direction. But I was just laughing this morning because I read this story. The mystery of Milei's cloned dogs. Argentina wonders if there are 4 or 5. And I'm like, oh, this sounds like a really interesting story. Literally the question you just asked.
I remember seeing some sort of article a long while ago talking about how many dogs he has.
Yeah, people want to know this stuff. It's just interesting, right? And so here he is with his dog Conan. But here's the thing. This article that I was reading in El País, whatever it is, it turned into a hit piece pretty damn quick because the heading was the mystery of Milei's clone dogs.
Yeah.
The subheading was 2 reporters asked about the exact number of his pets, but his spokesperson's answer only added fuel to the debate about the president's mental health.
What? What do you mean?
There's such shit. There's such shit. It's just so funny how like terrible the leftist press is about his mental health.
Having dogs makes you have bad mental health?
Well, they posted this picture. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this, see if I can get this up on.
It looks like there's 4 dogs in this picture.
1, 2, 3, 4 dogs. But those are like the puppies when they're like in their smallest phase here.
Right. Well, he also has this Bernese Mountain Dog too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
post.
So
that's a 5th.
Yeah, I'm just gonna post this real quick right now so that people can see the picture.
I don't get why is he wearing like a firefighter outfit? I mean, he's wearing like a snowsuit.
Well, because Patagonia is a region of Argentina, and it's kind of like known for. Hold on, there we go. There's the
for
thing.
being cold.
Yeah. So when he goes
gotcha.
to probably on like trips to like Patagonia region. Look at this.
Oh, okay.
First of all, but look, they did this whole thing about the president's mental health. Right, it's like, what are you talking about? His mental health, and of course they chose a photo. Like they probably took like 75.
He looks
photos.
like he's crying.
Well, they probably took a lot of photos for this photo shoot with him with his dogs, Conan, and it's like Conan, Milton, Rothbard, and they're all like Austrian economist guys. And he said, and he had wonderful photos that he had, but they took the one picture where he looks sort of insane.
He looks emo. He just looks like he's straight out of an emo band. That hair.
All of Argentina knows that the president Javier Milei adores his little 4-legged children, as he calls the dogs that live with him. What no one is sure of, however, is how many English Mastiffs he has.
Oh, they're English Mastiffs. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen that in person.
I love the way that they're writing this. In the few known images of his pets, for the few known images. So like this is like the Zapruder tape for the assassination of John F. Kennedy. This is the level.
The people who want leaked images of your dogs, those are the people with problems.
In the few known images of his pets, Milei appears with 4 of them. But Milei himself says there are 5, and that is how they appear in his presidential scepter he received when he took office. Yes, apparently the president of Argentina gets like a scepter. You know what a scepter is, Stephanie? It's kind of like a baton.
Oh, okay.
Nah, you do what I say, right? Afuera in Javier Milei's case.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm laughing at this other article. This is what I brought up to talk about. This, they call him a neoliberal. He's not like a leftist. He's like a pro-capitalist liberal, if you will. He's not like a classical liberal, kind of like a Gary Johnson type. But his name, he's sort of like an old school liberal. His name's Noah Smith. He wrote an article yesterday, and he had written an article several months ago talking about that he never really appreciated the political value of libertarianism, and which kind of shocked people. And he said it was because of, but it was a result of Trumpism and Trump's tariffs and Trump's excesses that he as a liberal had seen the value of political libertarianism. Right. But here now Noah Smith writes about the value of economic libertarianism, and here's his article, which is kind of like a backhanded compliment. He says free market economics is working surprisingly well.
Really? Wow, that's shocking.
Are you surprised, Stephanie?
No.
No.
Because I have read Human Action.
Yeah, we're not stupid. We've never been liberals or leftists or Marxists or socialists or communists or Keynesians or modern monetary theorists. Here's how he writes the opening paragraph, which I found interesting. One area of seeming bipartisan consensus in America over the past decade is the idea that free market economics, or, quote, neoliberalism, it's never been neoliberalism, has failed, and that our economic system needs to be overhauled. Obviously, leftists have always believed this, and in the recent years, they've been joined by more mainstream progressives, like the folks at the Hewlett Foundation, like Hewlett-Packard.
Oh, yeah.
On the right, thanks to Trump, tariffs and immigration and restriction have overthrown free trade as the reigning orthodoxy, and the GOP in general seems to want to put their thumb on the scale for fossil fuel industries and other traditional sectors. No shit, always have. And he says, in this case, I wasn't clear. I've been one of the voices calling for a new economic system. For years, I criticized free market ideology, fretted about the decline of the Rust Belt, expressed suspicion about free trade, and called for industrial policy to revive manufacturing. Oh, God, Jesus. I wrote many times that the Biden admin's industrial policies represented a needed break with the dogmas of the past, and that Trump had enabled that needed shift by destroying the political consensus for free trade. I'm constantly warning that without attention to strategic industries, America and its allies will lose a war to China. There's a good chance I'll end up advising the Hewlett Foundation. So despite being elected chief neoliberal shill, I was never an actual neoliberal or a free markets kind of guy. He says, so to be clear, when I say that criticism of free markets has been overdone, I'm partly talking to myself. A couple of months ago, horrified by Trump's tariff policies, I wrote an apology to libertarians, admitting that I had failed to see the political usefulness of their project in terms of maintaining economic sanity on the right. And then he says, but it's not just the political benefits of free markets that have been undersold. I think the purely economic advantages are also too often ignored, which brings us to Exhibit A. Exhibit A is Javier Milei's track record in Argentina. A year and a half ago, when Milei was elected president of Argentina, a bunch of left-wing economists warned darkly that his radical free market program would lead to economic devastation. They said that there was 100 leading economists in the world, Stephanie, who said that this man was going to destroy Argentina. And guess what?
He did not.
Didn't happen. Libertarian economist, chainsaw-toting madman turned president has done what every Keynesian socialist and swamp rat said was impossible. They said austerity. You know what that is, right?
Austerity.
Where you cut spending, where you stop the flow of government spending. Austerity, like you don't pass out welfare checks.
Okay.
Austerity. They said that austerity would lead to chaos, right? People not getting their checks.
Yeah.
They said deregulation would crush the poor. They said cutting subsidies would trigger riots in the streets. Instead, and here's the meat of this, public spending was cut by 31%. The budget deficit was eliminated. Inflation was slashed from 276% to around 33%. The GDP was up 5.8% year over year. Poverty dropped from 53% to 38% in under 12 months. Housing, he scrapped rent control immediately, which is what they're trying to do. Zoran Mandani's trying to do in New York City, just like do rent freezes. Everyone said that this is going to cause mass evictions if he stopped the rent controls. The supply of rental housing in Buenos Aires and rent actually went down 10%. So it was, the cost of rent went down. The supply tripled.
Interesting.
So in other words, he initiated damn near the entire libertarian economic agenda.
Yeah.
And you've got it's instead of mass chaos, it's been healing Argentina overnight.
Well, I do remember at first there was some rioting among the government workers. I remember that. They were marching down the street. And I remember that it did get more painful at first for people, but then it got better.
Yes.
Because I remember them just saying, like, stick it out. It's gonna be hard at first, but this is for the good.
Yes, there's going to be a little bit of chaos, but it's going to turn around.
Chaos. They're right. There
of
was.
Course, right away there will always be some kind of chaos when things are changing.
Yes.
But yes, so the supply tripled, Joni, and the cost went down 10%. Bruce Burt also said, Austin, because Javier did this, the 1%ers lose control. No, you're absolutely right. And that's what we're kind of talking about here is that the progressives, right, the ones who love the modern monetary theory, voodoo, and the universal basic in some nonsense, right? Now, listen to this. Argentina, this is a country so dysfunctional that they once had 5 presidents in 10 days.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And they just took a blowtorch to "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, Evita Peronism," and they walked out leaner, freer, and growing. This is Noah Smith. He used to bash libertarians every chance he got. He says, Milei's success so far should make us more confident that free market policies, especially compared to the U.S. should make us more confident about free market policies, especially compared to the new socialist ideas that have gained currency in the United States. Oh,
Wow. So he believes in them now.
yeah, he does. How can you not when you have a real-time example?
Right.
And there would be free market reforms that would be done in different eras. But this is the era of mass communication.
Yeah.
This is the era of the internet. You can't just get away with hiding one little case in Santiago, Chile in the 1970s of free market reforms, and nobody's really paying attention that much. People didn't know, people in the United States wouldn't have been as plugged into international affairs, and they still aren't. A lot of Americans still aren't plugged into international affairs.
Oh, no.
But back in the last case, you might say, of South America's reversal of socialism, where you could look at Augusto Pinochet from the 1970s. But when you talk about Americans and their engagement with international news, it's probably more now than it has been in the past.
Oh, for sure. Because it's more accessible.
Simply for the availability. It doesn't necessarily mean Americans are more interested or people are more interested here.
A lot of people probably don't know about Argentina unless they listen to your show.
Yeah. I actually heard somebody say one time that they were like, I hear more international news on the Wake Up America show than I hear on mainstream news.
Oh, absolutely. Do you ever hear Fox News talking about Javier Milei?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, very rarely. But when he comes to the United States to do something, they'll talk about him.
Right.
But there's a reason. There's a method behind their madness. Most Americans don't care about what happens overseas.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they don't. It's a sad fact of reality that most Americans, if we're not isolationist in practice as a nation, we are, or if we're not isolationist in theory, we are in practice, because most Americans are very, very hyper centrally located. I'm not saying it's not like a selfishness necessarily, but we've got it's kind of like when they used to talk about splendid isolationism in history class. I don't know if you remember that phrase.
No.
It was splendid isolationism was this concept of the United States because of our barriers to entry, the two oceans on either side, that a lot of Americans have been advocates for isolationism, and they called it a splendid isolationism because we were free of the wars of Europe, because we were free of the troubles of old Europe, of all of the empires against one another. And so there very much is a good argument for a splendid isolationism, for a staying out of the affairs of the world and out of the political affairs, mostly of Europe, for that which doesn't impact us. But most Americans, they're content to be like, you know what? A lot of Americans, like here, Missourians, they'll spend their whole entire lives in Missouri and will never leave the state.
Oh, absolutely.
They won't even
travel.
They won't even go to Kansas. Well,
Yeah.
I understand why, but
It's amazing to me that when you live in a different country, it's truly another world. There's different celebrities that different customs. So, yeah, each country really is so different.
Yeah, and when I look at these successes of Javier Milei, I'm so jealous. So
But again, could it really work here, right?
Yeah.
Because we have to remember each country is so different. So I don't know if Trump did the exact same thing as Javier Milei, if we'd have the same results.
Well, here's the problem with that thinking, in my opinion. That there absolutely is an argument to be made that there are apples and oranges comparisons. You can't, in many ways, compare North Korea to the United States. True.
No.
But the problem with that argument in regards to what Javier Milei is advancing is that the ideas that Javier Milei has advanced were born in the fires of American marketplaces. The ideas of classical liberalism, of free trade, of free markets, of capitalism, that the grand experiment and all of the ideas that he's now advancing, those were tested out here. I mean, there are plenty of American libertarians who wrote books and whose economics, like Friedrich Hayek, have won Nobel Prizes, and Ludwig von Mises, who has impacted American economics forever. But for the most part, it's not just about what has been written in papers and white papers and boring books, Stephanie. It's about the actual practice of capitalism. There's the theory, and then there's the practice. And so what Javier Milei is doing is putting into practice the theories, many of which were born in the United States, but mostly of which were tested in the United States.
Right.
And so I don't think it's an apples and oranges comparison to say, oh, well, how would the Americans compare in Argentina to say, oh, we'll just dismiss it because let's say that, oh, these two countries are different. No, I think that actually you can absolutely compare the United States and Argentina, especially, and I'll tell you this, especially because America and Argentina were on parity at one point. Do you know what on parity means? With where they're equal, they're at the same level,
the same kind of economic state.
We were in the same economic state as Argentina in the early 1900s.
Okay.
So when you look at photographs of Buenos Aires, it's kind of like going back to Buffalo, New York, and seeing the old rusted out, beautiful theaters, or Lucille Ball used to dance on stage, and thinking, oh my God, it's a lost civilization. It's like Indiana Jones going out in the jungle sometimes in some of these American cities.
Yeah.
Argentina, very much like that, but it has like these beautiful palaces and this gorgeous architecture of Argentina, because most of Argentina is Europeans. It's like they're a mix of Italians,
right,
Spanish, right, and and a few other ethnic groups, and a lot of British and a lot of Germans, a lot of Jews as well, and more recently, a lot of Arabs, But the thing about Argentina is that they were a great nation in the early 1900s. They were a world power, the same as the United States was around the time of Teddy Roosevelt. And so when the fascists took over, and I'm not using that pejoratively, I'm using it descriptively, when the Peronists took power in Argentina, they began the process of the destruction of the Argentine economy. Right. And Argentina, from Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, Evita years, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if any of my Argentine friends are out there, but from the Evita years, Evita Perón and her husband, Juan Perón, until today, it has been a mix of fascism and socialism in Argentina. That is what they're, and that's what's contributed to the destruction of their government, the destruction of their society. And that is, the United States went the opposite way. The United States built itself up with trade and capitalism and markets and industrialization, and we didn't have fascism in the United States. We didn't have socialism in the United States. We had a relatively free marketplace, at least to the extent that it was possible, with lots of problems in between.
Right.
It's not like there's no utopia, but the fact is that we're at a crossing point right now, where an economy, especially in the world today, with access to all the labor and access to the technology, an economy can grow very quickly now. So,
I believe it.
For example, China, when they started instituting market reforms, China grew quickly. China has now become a massive superpower. When they were a backwater, Argentina can do the same, just by applying these market principles, if they keep Javier Milei in office and if they continue to grow his Libertad Avanza coalition.
I wonder socially where they lie in terms of gay marriage, transgender rights, drugs, things like that.
Well, I could say this, that Javier Milei is at least a gun-friendly guy, because, he calls himself an anarcho-capitalist, I would assume.
Right.
He quotes Rothbard and Hoppe and all these guys. So
I'm going to look up if they believe in trans rights in Argentina.
Here's what the thing. He's basically where you and I are on that issue. So children should not be allowed to have transitions.
Oh, okay.
Adults can do as they please. Yes.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. He's kind of almost exactly he's me. If some people look at Ryan Reynolds and they're like, he's me. I look at Javier Milei and I'm like, he's me.
Okay, it says that the gender identity law of 2012 is considered one of the most comprehensive in the world, allowing individuals to legally change their gender and name on official documents without medical intervention or psychiatric diagnosis. Oh my goodness.
So
So Argentina has implemented those policies.
Yes. So we're talking
And they've reserved 1% of public sector jobs for transgender people. I wonder if he's reversed that one. You would hope so.
What was it again?
They've reserved 1% of public sector jobs for transgender people.
That was probably before him, and he would not institute something like that. From what I understand of him, I highly doubt that.
This law was passed in 2021.
He wasn't president then, so there you go.
Interesting.
So he changes the laws that he can change, and then his powers are restricted to an extent. He has more power than the American president does. Our president is actually more restricted than the president of Argentina is, so he has a lot more leeway to do a lot of these changes and make a lot of these cuts.
So that's where they're also different.
Yes, if you're talking about apples to oranges comparisons there, that is one of the big ones, that Javier Milei has more authority to make changes than Donald Trump does. Trump has an army of judges standing in his way.
Can you imagine if Trump did not have an army of judges standing in his way? It could be very messy. It's like we are so lucky that Javier Milei is more trustworthy.
You get a lot of, well, Javier Milei is an economist.
Yes.
Right? Trump's a businessman. And business.
So, I would not want Trump to have the same powers as the Argentina president.
You get a lot of good with Trump, but you get a lot of bad too.
Yeah.
Right? You get a lot of good and you get a lot of bad. With Milei, it's nothing but upside. That's the thing, is that I've been watching him like a hawk since we started this. I've been covering.
Yes, you've been following every little change he makes.
Every little move that man makes, because he is, to me, he is the test. We need to clone him, not just his dogs.
I'm sure he has that in his plan, probably in his will.
We need to clone Javo. Well, because he's one of us intellectually, but look at him. He's a human being. If it was a libertarian, any other, you grab any other random libertarian and you put them in that situation, what they're doing right now. Look at him kissing the dog, looking like a normal human being.
He's very relatable.
Yeah, he's a human being. So you're looking at him, and he's not doing the kind of the libertarian 1,000-yard stare. You know what I mean? Where it's like, Rothbard.
And he also doesn't seem so high and mighty that he's too good for people. Like even someone like Trump, he's just so rich, and you can tell he eats from a silver spoon. Whereas Javier Milei, I mean, he may be rich. I don't know what his financial status is. Yeah. But he acts like he's one of us.
Yeah. Justin says, I was loving the meme. They were going to put audio animatronic judges into the Hall of Presidents at Walt Disney World, lol, as a joke, because they are acting like they're the president, Steffi.
Who is?
Good morning, welcome to Wake Up America show. It's Freedom Family Friday. I love Stephanie so much. I love Stephanie. I love my wife with every fiber of my being. I would never divorce her. However, we will be talking about a messy divorce. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas' wife, posted why she's divorcing her husband, and she's doing so biblically.
Oh, goodness.
So I've been using ChatGPT to put together my show notes for my show recently. It's been helping me stay organized. And this morning it was putting together show notes, and it was like, Stephanie, who is Jewish and deeply religious, we'll talk about her spiritual angle on this.
I'm deeply religious?
Yes, it was deeply.
Since when does it know that? Wow. I don't know what the Jewish religion says about infidelity or anything like that. I have no idea.
Don't worry about it. Dad,
I know religious Jewish people don't get divorced. That's for sure.
That's right.
Religious anybody doesn't get divorced.
I love that storyline in The Sopranos where they're beating up that Orthodox Jewish guy to try and get him to divorce his wife, and he wouldn't do it. And then there's that one line where like the Italians are standing over him after they just kicked his ass. They're like, "You got to give her a divorce. You got to give her a divorce." And she's like, it's like, "Boy, somebody says, boy, you Jews, you desert people are so tough. You never give up. What's wrong with you?" And he's like, we outlasted the Romans. Where are they now? And Tony Soprano looks down and he goes, "You're looking at him, motherfucker."
Oh no. Oh boy.
The Romans and the Jews.
That was our one time a day that we think about the Romans. There you go. You're keeping it up.
And it's my one F-bomb a day. The Wake Up America show, says Dad Bod Baboon. The only place you can go to get cool merch, great coffee, smoking hot libertarian ladies, and a deep history of Argentina. I absolutely love it.
Yes. You are incredibly knowledgeable. More knowledgeable than
I like to read. I'm smart. I'm like that guy from Tropic Thunder. What was it? Simple Jack. You make me happy.
Aww. Oh my goodness. So cute.
All right, so here's a question for the audience. Would you take 1 year of economic pain if it meant long-term growth, stability, and freedom from federal bloat? Would you?
Yeah.
Would you do 1 year and turn it around? Bam. And then the recession's over, the economy's back on track, and we're looking at years and years of growth. Would you do that?
Well, we've experienced recessions before. So unless it would be an even worse recession than 2008.
It's recession. It's the business cycle. And it's unnecessary. It's caused by the Federal Reserve and the printing of too much fiat money. The Federal Reserve must be ended.
Yeah,
the Jewish control will be.
I would probably do it. It would give me a lot of stress and anxiety with my money in the
we
stock
could do it. We
market.
could, if we knew that if we knew it was a year, we could save up. We could buy some gold and do whatever was necessary and get ourselves.
Yeah,
into,
I guess if you knew it was coming, you could brace yourself. Just like with Javier Milei, they knew it was coming right when he got in. They're like, "Oop, this is going to happen, everyone."
Right. I would absolutely do it. But I think most Americans probably wouldn't. And that's because people are like children. They cannot take a little bit of pain. They can't take their medicine. This is why we're obese. It won't work out.
It's not that. It's that we have responsibilities. When you're an adult and you have a family, you got to feed that family. You got to clothe that family. I mean, you got to keep everyone alive. And if you can't do that, then you get into survival mode where you're just freaking out.
So then I guess here's the question to the audience. Would you take the year of pain? That's the one question for the audience. The second question I have for the audience, if America ever had a Milei moment, do you think Americans would welcome it, or do you think that most Americans would be too busy screaming about equity and demanding another stimulus check? What's your take on that, guys? Let us know. You can send us a text. See that text line on the screen, 573-319-1586.
The people on welfare would certainly be rioting and freaking out. I'm sure, looting buildings. So there would be rioting. I would believe that. You don't think they would start rioting? The people who are on food stamps and
they might, but if you had good governors, if you had a good president, then they would just take those people and they would just beat them over the head with a baton.
Oh, right, exactly.
Just take the parasites, drop them out of a helicopter.
It's truly like taking candy away from a toddler. When you take benefits away from a poor person, they freak out and have a tantrum, just like a toddler would.
Yeah, I just think it's sad that that we have to watch another country. I never thought in my life I would ever be jealous of another country. I am never in my life ever looked at another country in the world and thought,
I know.
Damn, I wish that we really could get some of that going on in our country. Because when you're number one, there's no reason to look outside and say, what else has anybody got that you would want? I don't really know. Is there any food that you can't get out there? No. Are there any women that you can't get? Oh, no, those women will come to the United States too.
Well, I don't know. Everybody talks about go to Argentina to find a woman because they're more European-esque.
Yeah.
They're culturally different.
That was Angelo. He said he wanted to get himself a snow Mexican.
Yes. We know a few people who like Latino women.
Oh, yeah.
Would Argentine women be Latina?
Yeah.
Is that what they're considered?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they're so Europeanized. They're so kind of like Italian mix.
Yeah.
That it's like Italian / Hispanic.
They
it's
probably
a very
have more
different
European
kind of Latina.
vibe, where they're like a little bit more closer physically. They do the little kiss thing.
They're like white people, but they're like what would you call it? If they were an iced coffee, they would be like a caramel or maybe a macchiato, or they would be more like it's like an octoroon. What is it? Where you're like 1/8 or something like that. They're
I have
just
no idea.
Mostly whitish, but with Hispanic flair, which for Joe is like a big thing. Joe loves him. So
awesome.
We know a
good
lot
friend,
of
Joe.
We know a lot of people who like are into Latinas.
Yes.
My thing with Latinas is that they all had an expiration date.
Aww.
And you can tell it. They're 35 and it's like, abuela.
I don't know. Do European women have an expiration date?
And they're all dangerous. Like, did you see Valentina Gomez? Remember that chick who ran for Secretary of State here in Missouri? She was always doing those campaign videos where she would like execute an illegal immigrant and stuff. And she'd be like, she'd murder you. Is that little baby Hazel waking up?
Yep. Oh, can you hear her? Oh, sorry. Let me turn off her thing. Is that how you knew?
Yeah, I can hear her. That's okay.
She's moving and grooving a
She's
little
moving
bit.
and grooving a little bit.
Here, I'll turn on her music.
Maybe she'll go back to sleep a little bit.
Yeah, her sleep routine's been changing slightly where she will actually sleep through the night more so now. But then that means she wakes up a little earlier, which mommy, can't really handle all the time because mommy has things to do. But
yes, she does.
It's okay. I'll change my work schedule for her. She's worth it.
On the question of whether or not people will be able to handle a Javier Milei style economic program in the United States, Joni Rankin says, we've been hit with sacrifice before. Can it be done again? Not unless we bust the unruly to one spot. New York City, maybe. Andy Opperman says, people that have become accustomed to living off the government will turn to crime if that spigot is turned off. That's true, but America is heavily armed. Dad Bod Baboon says, I don't think, quote, the people would organically riot. The problem is the special interest in activist groups that pay people to riot in order to cause chaos to those attempting to prove things. Amen, brother. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I really think that it would need to be a slow weaning process. I don't know if I would cut it off all at once like Javier Milei did, where he's just like, afuera, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, we would be like, okay, let's do training programs. Let's help people get back to work. Like, we would need to kind of spoon feed American people because they're just so dumbed down that they need extra help to get independent.
Well, maybe this will bolster the argument that Americans could never do this because, I love how George Washington's head is right there in your frame. Oh, nice.
I moved him so that he's front and center.
Yeah, that's awesome, Steph. Thanks for that. Milei slashed pension payouts. So he slashed pension payouts. Oof. Cut civil service employment. Oh my God, so nice.
Imagine if you worked for like 40 years and were getting a pension and then you no longer were getting it. I really hope he didn't do that to people. Oh. I hope people were grandfathered in, like the people who were promised a pension. That would really suck.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I mean, have you ever had something like literally ripped out from underneath you before where you're like promised something? Like Social Security, let's say. Let's say we're promised we're going to get Social Security. We don't get it. We would be pissed.
I don't know. James Franco stole my ex-girlfriend.
I know. You'd be pissed. I would be pissed. Even though I love James Franco as an actor. He's one of my favorite actors.
I'll never look at him the same way.
I know. Me either now. Unfortunately so.
So, yes, I've had things stolen from me. He axed the transfers to provinces, so government payouts to the provinces. He gutted subsidies for fuel, electricity, transportation. He deregulated healthcare, banking, airlines. Oh, my God. I wish we could have it. Oy vey. Scrapped rent control and made it easier to fire people. God bless Javier Milei. Javo, if you're listening.
But if you
don't know what
were
you've done.
a victim of one of these policies, I guarantee you would not be completely smiling. Like, we actually have some friends in our libertarian circles who do work for the government. Mm-hmm. And they're scrambling a little bit because they don't think their job is safe anymore under the Trump administration. And they have a big family, and it's scary.
Start a podcast, get a merch shop.
I know, but easier said than done.
Sell coffee.
When you have to support, 3 children, 4 children, like that's hard. You can't just supplement that income right away.
Learn how to sell. Get on the internet. Learn how to sell products. Go any insurance company is looking for
I'm a realist,
salesmen.
brother.
Get
I'm
on the
phone.
Get your ass on the phone and start making calls. 100 phone calls a day. You will get 2 or 3 sales. Do it with a product with a large enough margin, and you will make a good living. Just get off your ass. Get on the phone. And get like this guy. Look, this guy. This is the man with the largest hands in the world.
Wow.
Because he's made so many telemarketing phone calls.
This is Jeff Dabe, and he has some serious meat paws. Although it may seem like Jeff has some sort of genetic disorder, he's actually been tested by scientists and just naturally has some really large hands. Jeff also does professional arm wrestling, and he's an absolute monster. And Jeff holds the world record for the largest ring at size 30. And I already know his wife is extremely happy. This is Jeff Dabe.
Well.
I know they say when you have big hands, you have big something else, but I don't know. He looks like a small guy down there. You see that his body looks kind of tiny down.
He looks kind of short, as if as if he didn't get the height in the deal.
It looks like there's something a little wrong with his
big hands,
stature.
small height. Right.
I know.
so-
I wonder if his family members have large hands.
I'm pretty
as well.
sure his wife would prefer him to be tall than to have giant hands. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe she's got a thing for something like that. You know.
Yeah,
this
I mean,
point
I
at
don't know
all.
how big his wife is. Maybe he needs giant hands to like handle her. She's a large woman.
Could be, right?
Yeah.
This is a good time for us to talk about the Grift Shop at thegriftshop.com.
That's funny. I think that's funny that you have a new web address there.
I'm not ashamed to say that it was Brad Beckman's idea. Let's hear it for BB for Liberty.
BB, good job. Yay to be creative.
See that box of Founding Flavors coffee sitting on in front of Stephanie? No, you can't because we've got the website pulled up.
We're doing a giveaway today.
That's right, we are.
Of Founding Flavors coffee.
Yes, we are. We're giving away a box of Founding Flavors coffee to one of our monthly subscribers.
So if you're not a subscriber already, you need to become one. WakeUpAmericaShow.com/support, or you can become a Rumble subscriber.
Burnt Toast Space Girlfriend the other day became a 1776 a monther. I was so
That's
excited.
right. We reached out to her actually.
Yeah, when I saw that come through, I was like, wait a minute. Where did she come from? And then I went and called her and she's like, it's Burnt Toast Space Girlfriend. Because I always try
Again, we were like so confused as to who's who.
because I always try and call and say thank you to everybody, you know, when they become those monthly subs, especially when they become the Peterson's Patriots. Those are like our hardcore circle of
Christmas
supporters.
card list people.
They
That's right.
Yeah, they're on you're like part of the Peterson family, extended family, because we put you on the Christmas card list. And of course, everybody who is a monthly sub does get a 20% discount at the shop. So if you are not a monthly subscriber, today's a great day to become one. And we would highly recommend that you become a Wake Up America Show member of our Peterson's Patriots Club. But I know that's a lot for some people. And so obviously it's no big deal if you can't. But what I recommend you do is if you go to wakeupamericashow.com and you click on the support button at the top of the page, you can see we have monthly support levels that are very reasonable. You can make a one-time donation to the show. You can also start with a $5 level, which is the Don't Tread on AP level. There's the Freedom Ninja level, which is $10 a month. Peterson's Patriots at $17.76 a month is the preferred level. Peterson's Patriots makes damn sure that Wake Up America show is on next month and that the For Liberty Network is growing and extending and expanding. And think about how far we've come just in the last 3 years. We didn't have Brad Beckman. We didn't have 4 shows. We had 1 show. Now look at how much we've grown. And it's because we have so many people who make these monthly contributions that guarantee a revenue for us. And it's like, it's like our friends who work in the government. Like you start a podcast and ask, create value and ask. I'm asking for you to become a member of the Peterson's Patriots programs at wakeupamericashow.com/support. And everybody who is, if you're already enrolled, then you're already eligible for the giveaway that we'll do today, which is going to be a free box of Founding Flavors coffee. And you can see our levels go all the way up to Benjamin's Brigade in Grant's Army. And yes, we do have 1 Benjamin Brigader and we do have 1 Grant's Army, and that's the Grant's Army is my dad.
Aw, that's so sweet.
That's a lot of money. I understand. Not everybody's rich, but
Yeah.
you can just do $5 a month. And it's the preferred way to subscribe to the show because it takes the absolute least amount from us in terms of subscriptions. So if you go to wakeupamericashow.com/support during the show, you will be automatically entered and we will give away a free box of Founding Flavors coffee at the end of the show. There you go.
Yay. I love free gifts.
Yes, Quest Fanning says that I was getting Peterson Christmas cards before the Wake Up America show. I was already the kind of guy who would be a Peterson's Patriots. True.
That's true. Yeah. Before we started this whole subscription system, we did send out cards to our hardcore fans.
And our friends too,
Yes.
because it matters. Kindness and gratitude really matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to show gratitude, and I think that is it's one of those things that's been sorely lacking in modern society. You can send
absolutely. Who does handwritten thank you cards anymore? I do.
Yep.
I really don't know very many people who do it anymore.
Yep. We've gone through Javier Milei's economic program this morning, and it's been an absolute miracle of Argentina. Congrats to all of the Argentines. For those who heard the show this morning, and for those who might be listening to it later, we're so grateful to have you listening to the Wake Up America show, and we'd love for you to be regular subscribers and also followers. If you're watching us on Rumble, and today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, click the follow button so that way you'll get notifications on your Rumble app whenever we go live, which is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. If you're watching us over on X.com, it's a great way to watch the show. But here's the thing. The best place to watch it and to get the chat is over at rumble.com. So that's rumble.com/AP for Liberty. And that's where you guys can hang out with people like Quest Fanning, John Rail, BB for Liberty, Ashley Ann, Dad Bod Baboon, and Joni Rankin, T-Mill22, Entropy Nomad, all of the gang over at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. We can't tell you guys enough how grateful we are. I know many of you already are monthly subscribers, so your names are all in the hat for a free box of Founding Flavors coffee today. So make sure that you stay tuned until the end of the show when we will give away that. When is Justin Peterson coming up on the show?
10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes. We've got that. And we do have bonus content today, Stephanie. They've already come.
Oh.
Yeah, they've already come quite a long way, I think, to unlock the bonus content. Let me check the donations. Looks like...
And yes, John Rail, we do need to meet you. It's funny that we have so many fans in Missouri and we haven't met a lot of them. It's like we're neighbors, essentially.
We need to do like little mini meetups
Yes,
and things like that.
yes.
Probably would be a good idea.
I definitely think so.
Like next time we're in Kansas City, we reach out to John and try like just go see a movie or something. I don't know.
Right.
We have raised about $20 towards the $75 goal. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yay.
Remember that purchases at For Liberty Shop at the Griff Shop will unlock the bonus content as well. So if you go to the For Liberty Shop or the Griff Shop, thegriffshop.com, during the show, then any purchase that's made during the live show will go to unlock that bonus content.
Well, we have some new merchandise, don't we?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of new
Some
merch.
new shirts.
Yep. If they go to thegriffshop.com, they'll check it out. They'll
Like
be able
that
to see
one.
it.
I made that one. Well,
Which
BB for
one?
Liberty made it too. I made it as a meme first. This one, me as a baby.
That was a
and then
funny
it's like
meme.
a picture of a baby in the womb with a gun.
We've got so many amazing t-shirts that you don't find anywhere else because
Yeah.
I designed them. 34 pages of shirts. You really should take
I
some time
actually
to
have
scroll.
forgotten about a lot of these.
Yeah, you can check out and you can see like we've got great reviews on some things. Not everything's got great reviews. It looks
Really?
like yeah,
Oh
it
my
looks like
gosh.
the Freedom is a State of Mind Magic Mushrooms
no.
tea is not so great apparently. It's got one review, 3. Love the design, could be better with a higher quality shirt, said Isaiah Tato. So maybe we can switch that out with our the one that we use for most of our shirts, which is the Bella canvas.
Yes.
Yeah, most of our shirts are like the Bella canvas, but
We source them from different places, so that's why the quality can be different.
I thought this was a funny design, but nobody bought it. Viva las Tetas.
I think there was like one person.
Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe Drew Van Rokel. I like the come and take it toddler pacifier tee. That's pretty funny.
Yes, yeah, the Unruhs, they have been dressing their baby in. I believe we gave them that onesie.
Yeah.
And they dressed both their first son and second son in it.
Brad, it looks like a bunch of Walton and Johnson shirts accidentally ended up in the t-shirt collection. Whoops.
Oopsie.
Put that on the to-do list,
everybody
Brad.
can still buy Walton and Johnson stuff if they want. Walton and Johnson is the radio station that we also designed merch for.
See, we got a 5-star review on our Abolish the FBI tee.
There we go. Don't we now have an Abolish the ATF shirt?
That's the judges. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We do. So if
yes,
they want
we
it,
also do Judge Knapp's merch as
Yeah.
well. So if you like Judge Knapp, you can buy his merch.
you guys
too.
see how freaking hard I'm working, entrepreneurial I am. I'm like doing deals with the judge to try and do his merch. I'm doing the merch for Walton and Johnson, producing a documentary, and I'm getting Brad to make content. Then we're making social content, doing all the kind of stuff. Baby girl, you got a stew going over here at the For Liberty Network. We're trying everything to succeed. And
We really are.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like to do so many more things. We want to write another children's book,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that our first children's book was a success. Calvin the Coolest President.
Yep.
I have it right here.
Yes, we love Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah, these are still for sale at our shop as well.
Well, when we made that one, that was when we first learned AI.
Oh my goodness. So yes, some of the people's eyes on this book are weird.
See, now we would do so much better. And so now that we have the new tools, we're going to write the Grover Cleveland children's book.
Yeah.
And then that will be much better.
Absolutely.
If it were up to me, I would pump out like a children's book a week.
You know what's funny? I read Hazel a lot of children's books now because she's actually starting to be interested in reading. And children's books suck. Can I just say? Like the storylines of these books are absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Like
They
Jimmy,
teach you nothing.
Jimmy
This book is
Fallon's
at
book.
least informative. Yeah, Dada, the Dada book.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's like Dada, moo, Dada, woof. Like what?
That's all it is.
What is that teaching? Well, I guess it teaches your kid to say Dada and animal noises.
I guess. Right. It teaches you how to make an already rich and famous person even more rich and famous.
Right. But we are trying to spread knowledge. And I'm not going to hate on the Tuttle twins, but I am going to hate on the Tuttle twins.
What do you mean? Don't hate on
because
Tuttle twins.
I have like all the little baby books from them. They are not for babies. I can
not?
tell you. Like they're like literal flow charts. Like a libertarian clearly made these books, okay? Like literally they have so
Okay,
much
we'll
they
allow
have
that.
paragraphs of
We'll allow that.
information. You know,
I'm a
like
Tuttle
about the
twin
Constitution and
fan,
about these
but-
really technical terms, and I'm like, a baby is not going to remember this information.
Connor, don't be mad at us.
I'm
okay,
sorry.
we love
I'm
we
sorry.
love the Tuttle Twins. We're glad, and Javier Milei, by the way, is playing the Tuttle Twins out there in Argentina. We're glad he is. But maybe flow charts for babies.
I'm just saying, maybe simplify it just a little bit for the little ones.
Yes, there we go. Andy
That's what I'm
Opperman says bonus content contribution. Wee wee wee.
Thank you, thank you.
Money, money, money.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh gosh.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you
Oh, we
stop
haven't
it?
played that in a minute.
We haven't played that clip in a
Maybe
long
that's
minute.
we need to play her more often.
Yes.
Although it was
Can you-
offending a lot of people.
It was, yeah. Can you bless me with something? Like, there's like my dad's friends have probably like tuned into the show a couple of times, but then like I dropped like one F-bomb or talked about sex too many times, and they were just like, no, I can't.
I know.
Thank you very much, Andy Opperman. Looks like so we've raised $50 towards the $75 goal. There we go.
There you go. I mean, can we do, because Hazel, it looks like she's kind of playing, so I'm going to have to get her at some point. Can we do a special money raised if you want to see baby?
There you
bonus
go.
Baby
Well, I'll
or
tell you what we'll
something?
do. We'll do it to $100. So
Okay.
because she's getting big now. So
She's almost won.
Yeah,
Like
so-
you guys haven't seen her on camera live in months.
it's been a long time
because she actually has been sleeping,
which is good. So
but now she's not.
So I'll tell you what, we'll do the bonus. We used to do the bonus baby, remember?
Yeah.
We'll do the bonus baby today. So
Yeah.
if we hit $100, then we'll do bonus baby. Right
Yeah,
now
she
we're
keeps kind of snoozing. She's moving a little, but snoozing. So yeah,
well, we got
we'll-
Justin coming in here in
Yep.
like 2 minutes.
Yep.
So we're gonna go get Justin. If the baby wakes up, and if we hit $100, we'll do the bonus baby.
Yeah.
If we hit $75, that'll unlock the bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. And we'll do a giveaway at the end of the show today. Do not let me forget,
Yeah.
Stephanie. We will give away a free box of Founding Flavors coffee. It's going to be a great show. Last hour, of course, is always amazing because Justin Peterson was with us. Keep unlocking that bonus content, guys. We're so close. If you unlock it during the commercial break, then I will go ahead and flip to it. I'll play it. You can watch it. We'll have some fun. We'll be right back. It's the Wake Up America show. Head to the Grift Shop at thegriftshop.com.
Here at Alligator Alcatraz, the fence keeps them in. But slip up, and you're on my plate.
Looks like breakfast is making a run for it. We got 3 hot meals trying to check out early from Alligator Alcatraz.
They can splash, they can sprint, but there's no escaping Alligator Alcatraz. Caught 2. The third? Huh. The swamp's got its own way of catching runaways.
Mama was wrong. Gators don't need toothbrushes. Just an honest job making America great again.
This summer isn't about sunscreen and safe spaces. It's about liberty, laughs, and looking like a red, white, and righteous badass. Welcome to the Summer of Freedom collection. Beach towels bold enough to trigger a liberal arts professor. Tank tops louder than a 4th of July fireworks finale. And mugs that scream, "Don't tread on my caffeine." Whether you're storming the sandbar or just grilling like George Washington with a Bluetooth speaker, this is the gear that lets everyone know. You're not here to play woke. You're here to play cornhole with conviction. So crack open a cold one, fire up the freedom, and rock the merch that makes communists cry. The Summer of Freedom is here, and it's absolutely unapologetic. Patreon Imagine bringing George Washington back to life. Just to explain that in 2025, men can get pregnant, waving an American flag might offend someone, and our government is $34 trillion in debt. But that's not all, George. We have drag queen story hour for toddlers. Pronouns are mandatory. And Harvard can't define woman. Oh. And we send billions to Ukraine but can't fix potholes in Ohio. You know, just normal modern empire stuff. I'm sure he'd be totally cool with it. Right after he finishes reloading. He didn't cross the Delaware for this nonsense, but you can carry on the fight with gear that would have made King George cry. Shop bold, shop free, shop4libertyshop.com.
Oh, and India.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show. That's on the 4 Liberty Network. Nice to see my lovely, smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wife, Steffi, in the chat, hanging out in the chat and here, live in person.
For now, I'm watching Hazel very closely to see if she needs to be rescued.
No worries, though. We got pinch hitter on backup. My brother, Justin Peterson, hanging out as well. Freedom Family Friday means me, Steffi, and JP. Hey, Justin.
JP, good morning from Boston, Massachusetts, the cradle of liberty.
Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the show. It's nice to see you again. How are you, bud?
Good. Y'all have a good 4th?
We did. How was yours?
I didn't do anything. I was so lazy, and the weather here was absolutely perfect. It was a perfect day. It was
so
awesome.
Good.
Nice.
But y'all were blowing stuff up. I saw y'all blowing stuff up.
He was.
Yeah, we had some fun. We went to Table Rock Lake, spent some time down there in Branson. Justin, it's just so beautiful down there in Southwest
Branson?
Missouri. Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Mesopotamia? Hillbilly Mesopotamia, is that what you called it?
I said Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we had a beautiful time. Stephanie, she loves it down there too. We've spent a little bit of time down there, and we would go to Silver Dollar City growing up as kids, wouldn't we, Justin?
Literally my favorite, and they contracted my ire when they got rid of the fire in the hole ride, but somebody told me that they brought it back.
Oh, we wrote it.
Oh.
They did, and they still have, they have the bald knobbers there, but I don't think they were wearing any white hoods at this time.
There were people with white something on their face.
Yeah, they had the bald knobbers were there, but they were just like common criminals. They weren't like racial activists, if you know what I'm saying.
It looked quite racial to me.
Yeah, it definitely was. So
I love that ride so much. Oh my gosh, you and Austin, you and I would queue for that ride like 2 and 3 times.
Well, because it was the only roller coaster that you would ever ride. Because
yeah, that's true.
You're terrified of roller coasters.
True story. Yes. Even kryptonite, even Superman has kryptonite. So like everybody's got their thing. So mine's roller coasters.
It's okay. We went on one ride with Hazel, and it was kind of like one of those like school bus things that like goes up and around. And I was even having trouble with the gravity. My stomach was dropping. I was like, whoa, but Hazel was having fun. So when you get older, you just can't handle these things anymore.
I have been reliably informed, sorry to interrupt, guys, that we have unlocked the bonus content itself.
Oh, reliably informed.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And we're only $5 away from the bonus babies.
Oh, my gosh. We've like gotten that high up.
Yeah, because Joel Lattimore went to the shop.
Whoa.
And bought a Javier Milei, less marks, more Milei bumper sticker.
People want to wish Hazel a happy birthday, huh?
Yeah. Yes, that's what they want.
Also, what's that place in Missouri where they have the I went to it once. It's like they have a little wine thing there, but then it's like it's in Branson or somewhere around there where there's like a little chapel on the hill, and there's like they do like a flag lowering ceremony, and it's really cool. It's like I can't remember where it is, but I was like, it's beautiful there, like just in terms of like location.
Next APDC tour, Branson, Missouri. No.
People who are outside of Missouri who've never been there don't really understand how the Ozarks makes Missouri so completely different from all of the states surrounding it. Because whenever people who are not from Missouri think about Missouri, they probably think about it like Nebraska or Kansas, where it's like flat, there's corn, there's cows, there's not much else. That may be true north of I-70, but everything south of I-70 is wildlands. It is rivers and creeks and streams and lakes and recreation and parks, water parks and theme parks. It's just amazing. And actually some of my friends who live in Missouri get mad when I talk about it like that, especially online, because they're like, please don't tell people we don't want them to come here.
Oh.
They like their low property values.
It really wasn't that busy in Branson or in Lake of the
I like
Ozarks
Branson
recently.
a lot. I went to the Titanic thing there too. I don't know if you guys have gone to the Titanic exhibit there. It was an actual little Titanic on the strip there, you know.
Oh my
And there's a
goodness.
really good there's a really good donuts place. I can't remember the name of it, but boy, it was amazing.
Now you had my attention. Now you have my interest.
Now I'm
Donuts.
hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. It's good.
My
It's
stomach
good.
just went raw.
I love the Ozarks. So I got to get back to Silver Dollar City. I have not been in about 20 or more years. It's
One of
been a
these
hot
days,
minute.
Justin, you just need to take a sabbatical. You need to come back. You need to stay in our extra room. You just need to have a month. We'll just go all over the Ozarks and do everything. Lake of the Ozarks. We'll go down to Branson, Table Rock Lake. We'll go to St. Louis. We'll go to Kansas City just to have a Missouri refresher tour for JP. What do you say?
Nice. I like that idea.
Justin, let's talk about the news. Do you know this Noah Smith guy who wrote the blog I sent you here?
I do not know him.
He's kind of like, people call him like chief neoliberal for years. He was, sort of like a leftist who I won't say leftist, but he was definitely a Keynesian modern monetary theorist, left liberal who was in favor of labor law, regulations and laws, and against free trade and against free markets. And he wrote these pieces recently. One was, I owe the libertarians an apology, which is a great piece if you haven't read it yet. And the other was this article, Free Market Economics is Working Surprisingly Well. Did you have time to read that piece, Justin?
I did. I mean, some of it went over my head.
Okay.
But a lot of it
Thank you for admitting that.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I mean,
I appreciate that.
I'm not an economist, I mean, I'm an artist.
I'm not
and
either.
musician.
I'm not either, but
So-
I just appreciate when people say things like that for a couple reasons. One, it shows humility, and two, it gives me the host, like, what can I do? Where can I take this segment and stuff?
Well, I mean, for me, like, just reading it, when I read things like that, I automatically give a person, like you were just saying, more respect, who can say, you know what, I was wrong. We live in a society and a culture now that doesn't seem to be able to do that. People they'll double down, like no tea, no shade, as they say on RuPaul's Drag Race. But I'll see Tim Pool, who will get into an argument with someone, and rather than concede a point and say, you know what, you're right, I never considered that point before. Oh, that's interesting. He'll literally just double down.
Oh, wow.
Because he can't be wrong. And I'm like, that's no way to really learn anything. And my respect for people kind of diminishes when people can't just say, oh, I didn't know that. Or, you know what, I was wrong on this point. I concede that. You are correct. In fact, I had a thing this week where I wrote a note on my Substack, and I made some reference to cluster B personality disorders. And somebody checked me and was like, you know what, I don't think you need to make your argument based on the DSM-5 or whatever. And I was like, you know what, that's actually a valid point. And you know what, I'm going to change what I wrote because you're actually right. So rather than doubling down and being like, no, you're wrong and I'm right, I was like, you know what, no, actually, you're probably right. I probably shouldn't be using that as an excuse to make my point. So I changed what I wrote. So, I mean, anytime like this guy wrote this article, I'm like, first of all, I thought it was very encouraging, because it means that for me, Austin, you and I talk about a lot about economics theories and things, and I know you know so much more than I know. Yeah. But just in terms of theories don't often translate into practice. I mean, there's this great Yogi Berra quote where he says, in theory, there's no difference between theory and practice, but in practice there is, right? So it's like, when you actually put something into practice, that's where you see all the kinks come out, right? Like, to me, like socialism and communism have proven that they don't work, but people just hold on to them like bad ideas. And it's encouraging, I think, to see what's going on in Argentina, because it means that whatever the theory is, it actually results in success in the economy. So to me, that's a marker of success.
I don't cry a lot. I do cry sometimes. Every once in a while, I'll just be like watching some bit of media and it will just get me in the feels. Like some little girl is reunited with her dad and, something like that. And I'm like, I'll choke up. But like sometimes I see what Javier Milei is doing in Argentina and I almost like want to break down in tears because no one in the world is doing what he's doing. And it's what I've been saying, shouting from the rooftops ever since Ron Paul, right? Like the underlying economic theories that Ron Paul advocated for and that the United States, to some extent, to a large extent, had put into practice. We're talking about the ideas of Adam Smith. We're talking about the ideas of Jefferson. We're talking about the ideas of Friedrich Hayek and of Ludwig von Mises, and even Murray Rothbard in many ways. And so, having been an advocate for these ideas for years, Justin, and having gotten my teeth kicked in every election I ever worked in or operated in for years on the basis of advocating for these ideas, to now see it happening, being put into practice, I'll be honest with you, it makes a grown man feel like he wants to cry, because it feels like such sweet vindication and validation to watch it happening. And I'm like screaming, pointing at it, right? And of course, a lot of people are like, nah, not listening now, which is a natural response. But it is something for me, Justin, as a personal thing. Like, I can die a little bit happier knowing that at least there was one experiment that they tried. My ideas were put into practice, and it actually worked. I mean, can you imagine how I must feel?
Well, no, it's amazing. And I mean, you kind of felt this from the beginning, from what I understand, because you were so gung-ho and excited about his election. And, it was kind of that wait and see, you were cautiously optimistic when it was starting. So I think now, it's bearing fruit. It is bearing fruit, and here it is, and there's the fruit of it, so it's exciting to see. And we should only be so lucky here in the United States.
I just wonder if he's going to win re-election, because I think it could go south.
You think?
It could, but I think that... I doubt that would happen. I'm actually betting more on him than I would say. I would say that there's a greater chance that he wins and that he loses. But I would say that, there is absolutely a chance of that. But the results have been so astounding. I can't imagine that voters would say we need to go back to where we were before.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking of a voter coming to the booth going, everything's getting better. Why would I want anything to change?
Yeah.
They'd be like, I want more of this, please.
Yeah. No, I think they'd be crazy to do that. And while I could talk personally about Javier Milei in Argentina for hours, I know that there is a limit on people's interest on that topic, Justin. So I've got another topic I want to switch to here for just a few minutes, because my listeners have heard my opinions on this story all week, but they haven't heard your opinions or Stephanie's opinions on this story. I'm going to play a clip real quick. Take a listen, and then I want to get your reaction.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed, because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
That was the Attorney General Pam Bondi. That was before Stephanie.
So she has the list.
The list
is on her desk, Stephanie. It's on her desk.
It's on her desk.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, if I had the list on my desk right now, I would be reading it, rereading it. I would be highlighting that thing.
You would think.
I would be all over it.
You would think. And before the election, Trump said things like this.
Yeah, I would. All right. I guess I would.
Release the list. Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to counter.
This goes on and on, and then so that is them before. Now here they are this week when asked the question. This was this week, Stephanie. This is the new take.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If
could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is Unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Justin, so
wow.
Yeah. Your reaction, Justin.
Well, I mean, it's just, this is the thing that, I'm not a team Trumper, because I'm just like, this has been a debacle from the beginning. I mean, when they gave all those influencers, I mean, it's just been a joke, a circus. They gave all those right-wing influencers, remember they had the old binders? They were all like so stoked about getting their binders. And then it was just like a giant nothing thing. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, what is going on with this crap? It's really just typical political chicanery, in my view.
Steffi?
I mean, should it really be in the government and out there like that? Should this just be dealt with like an illegal kind of matter?
What do you mean?
I mean, is it really like the government's job to do stuff
To
with this
prosecute
list?
sex trafficking and to
Would
name
it just be more of a legal issue?
Well,
more with
she's the
just
top
lawyers and not political
She's
people?
the Attorney General of the United States, so
Right.
that is literally her job. And
Yeah.
they campaigned on this. They
Right.
campaigned
Right. That's
on
right.
this.
That's
It
right.
wasn't like this was something everybody was pushing and they weren't talking about. They campaigned on it. They had multiple congressional hearings.
Oh, absolutely.
They all said they were going to out these creeps. And now that reporter was asking a question about whether or not, and I'm starting to wonder if this isn't the true story, but the reporter was asking the question about whether or not Epstein was working with security services. In other words, the big story here, Justin, that is the big conspiracy theory, and that I'm starting to actually take some credence in is that he was running a blackmail operation, that his millions of dollars came in from the fact that Prince Andrew would come in.
Oh, yeah.
He would sleep with underage girls, and Epstein would record that.
Ugh.
And then he would use that information to blackmail the royal family or blackmail Saudi princes or anybody who wanted access to kids.
Absolutely.
Maybe Bill Clinton, maybe Kevin
Well,
Spacey.
Donald Trump is on the list, apparently, per Elon Musk.
Correct. That's what Elon Musk said. He also accused Steve Bannon, but he also retracted it. So when you say the list, there's the flight logs of the people who flew on his plane, and then there are the people who went to his island, and then there are the people who were clients of Jeffrey Epstein, that, in other words, he managed their money and would bring them to the island. Stephen Hawking was one.
Right. So how do you really know if somebody did stuff with children if they're on that list? They might not have necessarily done stuff with kids.
Right. Well, the only way to find out, of course, is to engage in prosecutions. And
yeah,
I mean, we're talking about the most
yeah.
heinous crime in the world. What are we talking about here? We're going to let this go?
Yeah, I really feel like, I don't want to use the term gaslighting, but I feel like Trump is gaslighting us now, where he's like, this is, why are we talking about this?
Yes.
This
Right,
isn't
exactly.
important. Meanwhile, before this, he was like, oh, we need to, get to the bottom of this. We need to get this list. Just like what J.D. Vance said, just like what the FBI director said.
Also, did you see
So they're
that-
gaslighting us now and making us feel silly for even wanting
And
this.
did you see that there was a minute missing from the videotape in
No.
the jail cells? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well, hold on. Listen to this. This is CNN.
Alex, I have to say, I'm with the people that still have questions about this. I kind of don't buy the nothing to see here, and I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video. Let's show it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape. What is it?
Well, here's one thing that some people on the internet are picking up on, which is that there is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m. 58 seconds and 12 a.m. the night that Epstein was apparently killed or died.
Alex,
right there, a minute missing from the videotape. It's like,
It's perfect.
Do you think he's still alive? maybe he's still alive, just like John McAfee.
Some people say that.
They're probably just hanging out together somewhere.
I think that's probably a bridge too far. What I think is that I think he was murdered. I think that he was murdered. He had too much knowledge on too many people. And I'm surprised that Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison and not dead right now.
Well, if she died, then people would really be like,
She
"What's
will, but
going
here's the thing.
on?"
I think she
here's
will.
the thing. If this is if Trump is saying there's a nothing burger, right? There's nothing here. Then why is she in prison? She shouldn't be in prison.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a victimless crime. Then where if you're not, who are where are they? You know,
No
what I mean?
victim, no crime, right?
Exactly. It's like then why is she in jail? Is it just theater? Like, why is she in jail?
Yeah. I if I were her, I would be so scared because I think that eventually they'll probably choke her out because there's no way that somebody like her wouldn't talk to get what she could spend 20 years in jail. I mean, or maybe, you know what? She may feel like she's safer in jail in some ways.
Yeah, probably right.
Of course.
It's probably for her protection. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that Epstein was murdered. I don't think that he killed himself. I think that they probably had, you know, a guy who was in a cell next to him and they let him in the cell to go do the job. And then they declared him dead and they called it a suicide. Then they cremated his body right away, which they always do in these situations.
You won't see bruises. You won't see bruises. You know?
Yeah, you won't see bruises.
Or maybe they just let him out of his cell
Yeah.
and now he's off and he changed his identity.
Yeah, I think that's a fun theory, but I honestly believe that I know this is going to sound really weird, but I believe that knowing what I know about the elites and the elites that I've run into in my life, being able to have access to underage children is something that many elites believe is a right of theirs. It is not uncommon in amongst elite circles for them to brag about how they like went to Thailand and slept with a 16-year-old.
No,
it's not uncommon for them to do stuff like that.
No, I mean, look at all the people that were rallying around Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood. You know, Oprah Winfrey was, you know, Meryl Streep. They were all like, "Yay!" And they knew what he was doing. You know, and they ran cover for him. You know, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because they're on the take. They work for him. You know, he's given them incredible opportunities. But I mean, you know, sex tourism, it's not uncommon. It's something that we know.
Not even among people like, you know, the regular folks.
Right.
You know, there's men that go to Thailand. Just saying.
So exactly. So here's my theory. My theory is that the child sex trafficking that goes on overseas for the middle class, right? It's looked down on. It's sneered. If you get caught, you might get in trouble. You might lose your job. You might go to jail potentially, right? But the Epstein case, it's our elites. It's America's elites. It's our presidents. It's the West's leaders who have it's their pedophile ring. And so since they're the most powerful people in the world, nobody's going to get prosecuted because they own the judges, they own the courts, they own Pam Bondi, the attorney general, they own everything and everyone, and everybody's got blackmail. They're like, well, why wouldn't the Democrats have released a list if Trump was on it? Not if they're on it. You know,
if Trump is on it.
Not if Schumer is on it. Not if Chuck Schumer's on it. Not if Nancy Pelosi went there several times or got a lot of money from Jeffrey Epstein. No.
I just don't understand what makes people be attracted to children. What is it about power that makes you then think children are some object?
I think that's what it is. It's power. It's
power.
a corruption. In a corruption, it's the desire to corrupt, I think. And it is power. For sure it's power.
You remember that show, To Catch a Predator, Chris Hansen, you know, why don't you take a seat down over there?
I always thought that map people were very rare. Like, they're not a big part of the population.
Don't call them maps. Just call them pedophiles.
Well, I didn't know if we're like censored on here or
we're
whatever.
censored everywhere, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're
but
censored
it's like,
everywhere.
I thought that it was like maybe 0.001% of the population is attracted to, you know, kids.
No. And I think that the To Catch a Predator show highlighted that.
Yeah.
And
it was amazing because they had so many episodes.
Yeah.
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 And they weren't going after like 5-year-olds. They were going after like, you know, 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds.
Sure.
Maybe that was their, you know.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like when it came to like 5-year-olds or 7-year-olds, something like that.
And that's
they couldn't
how
get
old
in
these kids were at the Epstein Island. It was like 5. They were like really, really young.
No, they were like probably 16, 14, 13.
Oh, okay, so they were older
teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah,
A lot of
early
them.
teenagers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently, Stephen Hawking had a thing for midgets on the island.
I know, I saw that. Amazing.
He just needed somebody that was his size.
We represent the lollipop guild, the lollipop guild, the lollipop
I feel
guild.
bad for people who are disabled or like if they're paralyzed. You know, I understand their need for sexual gratification.
Not with
I
kids.
get that. Right.
No, but
I
he's
know.
fetishizing them. That's the problem. He's fetishizing them, right?
Yeah.
He's looking at them as sexual objects.
Yeah.
You know, instead of being like looking at them as people, he's like, "Oh, you are my sexual object."
Yeah.
Ugh.
But
it's a
but
good
I think
band
that-
name, Nate. By the way,
Yeah.
it's a good band name, Sexual Object.
So like the thing about like a ring, like a sex trafficking ring, is that it requires a lot of money. It is not the kind of thing that you can just do with, you know, nickels and dimes and quarters and write a check. You can't, obviously. It requires a lot of money. So that means that like banks have to be in on it. That means that banks have to be looking the other way when they're saying, where's this money coming from? Oh, well, you know, it's the shipment of the crate full of little girls that's coming in from, you know, El Salvador or whatever.
Meanwhile, they'll turn your bank off in Canada if you go to a protest with your truck about the vaccine.
Right.
They can debank you.
Yeah. So banks have to be in on it to an extent. And you have to have, you know, people, foot soldiers whose job it is to procure. Right. And it's not like, I mean, snatching kids off the street to like be a part of a ring. It's not like your average criminal work. It's not like your average mafia war job where you're running, you know, garbage routes and shaking down suppliers along the way and getting a little extra cash on the way or selling. It's not like selling heroin even to some extent, or selling drugs. You're talking about people. You're talking about, it's not a commodity that you can just stuff in a bag and put in a submarine and send to the United States across the border. We're talking about children who have to be moved across state lines, across international lines. This stuff, it's still going on. It's still happening today. There is so much trafficking going on our southern border.
Yes.
And it is like one of the least talked about subjects because it makes people uncomfortable. People can't discuss it. I hope that people will discuss it more.
Yeah.
And Andy Opperman says, I was today years old when I realized the lyrics were Lollipop Guild and not Lollipop Kids. Always learning. I thought it was Lollipop Kids when I was a kid too.
Oh.
But I was wrong. It's Lollipop Guild.
I'll tell you what, I want to go to Las Vegas because they're doing that new AI created Wizard of Oz movie that they've used AI on in that sphere, you know, the Las Vegas sphere.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And I want to go there and see that because I think that looks really cool.
As
It's
cool as
using
that is,
AI.
we're not going to allow ourselves to get too distracted by Wizard of Oz talk right now.
You want to talk about Javier Milei, and I'm going to talk about the Wizard of Oz.
I mean, human trafficking is a terrible issue. And as a social worker, I have to do mandated CEUs for human trafficking. So it is an issue that the healthcare professionals are very aware of as well. And whenever you go to any bathroom, like I remember even at the YMCA, like on the bathroom door, it says, if you're being human trafficked, please call this number. So they've got lots of information out there on bathroom stalls for people if they are in trouble.
It's a dark time. I think this is a stain on the Trump administration. I think that I hope that it doesn't go away, to be honest. I hope that people continue to mount the public pressure campaigns, because the people out there who made their careers on, we got to go after the child predators. We got to go after the child predators. If they give Trump a pass on this one, the Trump administration a pass on this one, I think they should never be taken seriously ever again. Yeah,
I agree.
Too many influencers who are grifters.
I agree.
And I'm tired of hearing from them, honestly. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about biblical marriage and biblical divorce. Justin, it's time to go pee for liberty. We're going to take a quick little 4-minute break.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go do the bonus content since it's been unlocked. We're going to have a bonus baby here in just a minute.
Did we unlock that too?
It's unlocked. We got the bonus baby. We got the bonus content. We'll be right back. It's time to go pee for liberty. When we get back, biblical divorce. It's the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network.
Should I just grab her in a little bit?
Requires the president to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Yet President Donald Trump has not only refused to enforce the federal law banning TikTok, but his administration has also told multiple tech companies that they may openly violate the TikTok ban without incurring any legal liability, because the Department of Justice is irrevocably relinquishing any claims against the companies for the conduct prescribed in the act. But wait, may the president do that? May Trump encourage private parties to violate a duly enacted federal law while simultaneously vowing to free them from present and future liability for their lawbreaking? Is that constitutional? American presidents have certainly disagreed over the years with some of the laws that they were charged with enforcing, and some presidents have even flat out declined to enforce what they found disagreeable. Thomas Jefferson, for example, viewed the Sedition Act of 1798 as wholly unconstitutional and therefore refused to effectuate it when he became president in 1800. As justification, Jefferson pointed to his presidential oath of office. To enforce an unconstitutional law, Jefferson maintained, would require him to violate his sworn oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. The Sedition Act was unconstitutional and null, Jefferson argued, and my obligation to execute what was law involved that of not suffering rights secured by valid laws to be prostrated by what was no law. The Obama administration did something similar in 2011 when Attorney General Eric Holder announced that the Justice Department would stop defending the 1996 Defense of Marriage Act, DOMA, in federal court because, in its view, DOMA violated the constitutional rights of same-sex couples. This is the rare case, Holder argued, where the proper course is to forgo the defense of this statute. So, the idea of a president refusing to give force to a federal law is not unprecedented and is not necessarily a violation of the Take Care Clause of the Constitution. However, unlike Jefferson or Barack Obama, Trump has not objected to the TikTok ban on constitutional grounds. Rather, Trump's argument is that he possesses the independent authority to set aside the TikTok ban while he attempts to line up a new buyer for the Chinese-owned social media platform. And where, you may ask, does Trump locate that novel power? Where else? In the president's unique constitutional responsibility for the national security of the United States, the conduct of foreign policy, and other vital executive functions. In other words, Trump argues that executive power alone permits him to suspend the enforcement of a valid federal law. And that is a far more sweeping and aggressive view of presidential authority than what was previously advocated by Jefferson or Obama. Also, sweeping and aggressive is Trump's view, as spelled out by Attorney General Pam Bondi in a series of letters to tech companies recently made public thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, that the executive branch has the power to irrevocably relinquish any claims the United States may have had against those companies for their past or current violation of the TikTok ban. To be sure, the president does have a kind of prosecutorial discretion when it comes to the enforcement of federal law. The president may focus greater executive branch resources on some crimes instead of others. And the president may tell the American people all about it, effectively sending a message that some forms of lawbreaking will be more or less tolerated for a time because they are not a current federal law enforcement priority. But Trump is doing something different here. What Trump is doing here is, first, asserting a new kind of presidential control over a valid federal law. Second, issuing a sort of blanket immunity to a favored group of lawbreakers. And third, purporting to tie the hands of future justice departments, irrevocably relinquishing any claims when it comes to future treatment of those favored lawbreakers. That combination of factors seems like a sure recipe for corruption, cronyism, and executive abuse. Trump's various other recent assertions of unilateral executive power have received more attention than his non-enforcement of the TikTok ban. But this one is also worth worrying about.
Here at Alligator Alcatraz, the fence keeps them in. But slip up, and you're on my plate.
Looks like breakfast is making a run for it. We got 3 hot meals trying to check out early from Alligator Alcatraz.
They can splash, they can sprint, but there's no escaping Alligator Alcatraz. Caught 2.
The third? Huh.
The swamp's got its own way of catching runaways.
Mama was wrong. Gators don't need toothbrushes. Just an honest job making America great again.
This summer isn't about sunscreen and safe spaces. It's about liberty, laughs, and looking like a red, white, and righteous badass. Welcome to the Summer of Freedom collection. Beach towels bold enough to trigger a liberal arts professor. Tank tops louder than a 4th of July fireworks finale. And mugs that scream, "Don't tread on my caffeine." Whether you're storming the sandbar or just grilling like George Washington with a Bluetooth speaker, this is the gear that lets everyone know. You're not here to play woke. You're here to play cornhole with conviction. So crack open a cold one, fire up the freedom, and rock the merch that makes communists cry. The Summer of Freedom is here, and it's absolutely unapologetic.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. This show has been live for almost 3 frickin' years. This September will be like our 3-year anniversary. A podcast. Austin, what do you do for a living? I'm a podcast. I'm a streamer, right? We got a gaming stream. Actually, we do have a gaming stream, but it's the kind of games that you can play together with us. We play a little Call of Duty, then we play some party games. Make sure you check out Freedom Arcade tonight live right here where you're watching us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty for a little gaming with friends. You can get on the Discord channel, which means that you can actually be a part of the live show, not just play games with us, but participate, hang out in the chat on our Discord tonight at 8 p.m. Central time.
Yeah, it's whenever I can get Hazel to sleep, but you'll be here regardless.
That's my wife, sweet Steffi, sweetheart Steffi. She's my lovely smoking red hot libertarian wife.
I'm researching Jewish law about divorce, so I'm coming in with some information.
You don't have to worry about it, Stephanie. I'll never divorce you. My brother, he'll never have to worry about that as well. Justin Peterson joining us live here on the Wake Up America show. Hey, Justin.
Hey, welcome and greetings from singledom.
Singledom.
Yeah, I pretty much don't believe in divorce unless you are unsafe, unless your life is at risk.
Well, Senator Angela Paxton thinks differently. She's the wife of very controversial Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, or ex-wife, I should say. She posted on X today, it's Texas. Today, after 38 years of marriage, I filed for divorce on biblical grounds. I believe marriage is a sacred covenant, and I've earnestly pursued reconciliation. But in light of recent discoveries, I do not believe that it honors God or is loving to myself, my children, or Ken to remain in the marriage. I move forward with complete confidence that God is always working everything together for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. That's Senator Angela Paxton there. She's biblical divorce.
Her husband cheated on her.
Oh, shut up.
That's what that means.
Maybe she cheated on her husband.
Well, she said in light of recent discoveries. So she probably discovered some text messages or photos. And
maybe he's on the Epstein list. And Barney Sell says it's more Louisiana accent. You're right.
That too.
Damn it.
Yes.
I got to really think to get my Texas and Louisiana separate. Justin, biblical divorce?
No. Biblical divorce, as far as I know, Jesus was only down for divorce unless there was sexual immorality there going on. At least that's what Matthew 5 and Matthew 19 say in the Bible. He wanted, that was like one of the only reasons to get divorced was sexual immorality. So that's the biblical grounds, I guess.
2.4 billion adherents to Christianity. Catholicism says divorce is not recognized. Marriage is a sacrament. Civil divorce is allowed for legal reasons, but the couple remains married in the church's eyes unless the marriage is annulled. Annulment. Church declares the marriage was never valid to begin with. Remarriage without annulment is considered adultery. Jesus, that's really strict.
But I'm also here again, we're a product of the era in which we live. It's like, I have to tell everyone in the world that I'm getting a divorce. And I'm like,
that's kind of weird.
That's the first thing
that's
a problem here. It's not the fact that she's getting a divorce, but the fact that she's talking about it on Twitter. I'm sorry, guys, but please do not talk about your medical problems, your personal problems, your relationship issues. Like, what is this? Is this your diary on Twitter?
I have to tell you,
cringe.
Austin can vouch for this because we grew up in the same house. But, my mom and dad were always talking about this, and they said, don't air your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Mom and dad would always talk about, don't put your stuff out there in front of other people. That's like, That's not their business. Like, you keep your business private, and don't be talking about everything. You don't need to be telling people everything all the time, and that's not popular anymore.
No, it's not. Now it's you put it on TikTok and get 1 million views.
Right, and look how many comments she got and all
yeah.
of that. It's like you're making money from this post.
Yeah, she is. Protestantism views range widely. Most allow divorce, especially for adultery, abandonment, or abuse. Remarriage is typically permitted after divorce. Evangelicals tend to emphasize forgiveness and reconciliation, but acknowledge divorce is sometimes necessary. So in other words, the evangelicals might say, yeah, he cheated on you, but you should try and work it out. So what do you think? Senator Angela Paxton, maybe if it was repeated, but if he just cheated once, grounds for divorce?
Oh, I mean, if it's just a one time only, I've worked with so many couples, and they can still make it work. Usually when there is infidelity, it's a wake up call for the relationship. It means there's some sort of a void. Someone's not feeling fulfilled. And you just need to communicate openly about what's going on, and then build that trust back, heal together, and then get your needs met together by compromising. And usually the couple's fine.
Here's a question.
They'll be happy in the end.
Here's a question to make everyone uncomfortable. You know how I am, Justin.
What?
You know how I am. Would you rather your partner cheat physically or emotionally?
I think emotionally.
You'd rather them cheat emotionally rather than physically.
I would really have trouble being intimate physically after they've cheated. It would be a terrible image in my head.
But if I said, I have feelings for her and I feel strongly for her, she asked me to run away with her, blah, 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 that would hurt less than a physical act. Even if it was like a homeless woman behind a dumpster, one and done. Maybe a homeless woman would be pretty bad, disgusting afterwards.
Austin's taste is impeccable.
Yeah. Well, you know how men could be.
Right.
But
I don't know. I guess maybe it's because us women are so emotional in general, and we get really deep in our relationships anyway and tell our deepest feelings to people. So I guess I'm not as afraid by emotions.
Justin, would you rather they cheat if you had a significant other, would you rather they cheat physically or emotionally?
Physically.
Okay, why?
Because you're men.
Because yes, but she's right. But Stephanie's right. Because let me just tell you. Okay, can I say this on morning television?
Yeah, go ahead.
The gay dudes have sex as a handshake, man.
Yeah.
It's like a handshake. It's like shaking somebody's hand. It's, we don't put such a high value on intimacy as married people do. So it's, straight people do. Because here's why. Now you're going to get spicy takes out of me.
Yes.
This is because women are the control factor for male sex, right? Women are a control factor.
Not me.
Gay men are what male sexuality would be if there was no women, right? Because women, there's a threat of another life. You can create another life with that woman because she can get pregnant. But there's no threat with that with men. So what would male sexuality look like if it was unfettered by the limitations of female, gatekeeping in a way? Well, it's what gay men do. That would just be very, what's the word they love? What's promiscuous, They'd be very promiscuous. So emotionally it's harder because in gay world, I think that's more important, because really, but then it's like you go on a lesbian cruise and it's like, well, were you looking at her or 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 her? That's kind of like gay existence, you go, it's like go to a gay bar. It's like, were you looking at him or him or him or him? That's kind of like that's the emotional thing there, right? That's the emotional cheating. Gay men are crap. All men are crap.
Yeah, and women complicate everything.
And I try to explain to women that men truly do look at sex very differently than women do.
Yes.
We look at it in more of an emotional way as women. Yes. We have to feel some emotional connection. Usually, I'm not talking for all the liberal women out there who have sex with thousands of men a day, but men, they see physical intimacy as just a task. It's really not. There's usually no emotion attached for the most part.
Well, don't you think that's Darwinian?
A physical impulse.
My thing is,
Yes.
it's Darwin, man. It's how we're wired as a species.
Yeah.
Women need to have a relationship to sex like that because they need to keep a man around for protection of the young.
Yeah.
So there is a desire in primates, like we're gorillas, you know what I mean, to be like, you need to stick around. And men have that sexual response because that's just not how we're wired. It's like we have to spread the seed. We have to get the DNA in all the places. I mean, look at Elon Musk. How many kids does he have?
Yeah. And nobody seems to judge him that harshly on that.
I'm not so sure that he's doing that naturally, if you know what I'm saying. I think a lot of it might be in vitro.
Yeah. I don't know if he's capable of having very intimate relationships.
There's a joke. Why did Bach have so many children?
Why?
Because there were no stops on his organ.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But
music nerd.
Even though it makes sense why men have sex more than women, it still doesn't hurt any less for the woman because it's like we just can't get our brains to wrap around that idea. And usually in these cases of infidelity, the man does take it a little bit further where he does not only have sex with this person, but he also gets emotionally involved with them. And that's where you do get in trouble. Because then the man not only is physically cheating, but also emotionally cheating. And then he's on his way out to go live a life with this other person.
I also wonder how much the 19th century and Romanticism kind of ruined a lot of this because, the idea of Romanticism is that this idea of a soulmate for life, these ideas we operate under in terms of our modern world really are a 19th century ideas that came out of the Romantic movement in the middle of the 19th century about how, people should be in love and how love should work. I mean, you look at Romanticism in the arts and Romanticism in culture and writing, like Werther, right? The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, who, basically unalived himself because the woman that he loved didn't love him. And it became one of the best-selling novels of the 19th century because, it's so romantic that he would do that. So, but before that, cheating was just sort of taken in stride. I mean, men had mistresses and women had, male lovers on the side. And it was just kind of this unspoken thing that people just did. But now we've sort of made our romantic partners everything. We've made them our therapists. We've made them our financial advisors. We've made them our spiritual advisors. We've made them our sexual, coaches. We made them our diet experts, our fitness experts. And it's like no one person can fill all those roles. And I'm not making a case for cheating, but I'm just saying that those romantic ideas have made cheating to be a devastating thing in a relationship. Whereas before, culturally, before Romanticism, it would have just been sort of taken on the chin as something that happens often in a relationship.
Where do you think that came from, Justin? I mean, how did our culture and society go away from that sort of multipolar relationship situation to what we have today, which is this very romanticized kind of Disney-fied view of relationships?
It's Romanticism. The phenomenon of Romanticism in the 19th century is where we have gotten a lot of our relationship ideas from. The Hollywood ideas, all of that comes out of Romanticism. This idea of, delusional ideas about relationships and how people are and, that you're going to stay with someone, you're going to be loyal to the grave. And these are newish ideas. These are not old ideas. These are newish ideas.
That sucks because that's how my brain operates. Like, I want to be with one person for the rest of my life. I want to be committed. I can be committed. So it's easy for me, and I understand it's not easy for other people, but I guess I wish it were as easy.
But if you go back 200 years ago, your family would not have let you marry anyone that they didn't approve of.
Right.
So you had no agency in your choice of partner. There would have been you would have
happy.
And that's another romantic idea. The idea that you as an individual get to choose your own destiny with regard to your romantic life. That's a new idea. That's not historically been the case. It's been usually families who have said, you're not marrying this person. I mean, we had dowries. Remember, we had dowries. People would have a dowry. Like, the idea of marriage being like, I'm going to meet my life partner. That never happened. Your family would say, hey, you're going to marry this guy because he's got land, or he's got a good, bank account, or he comes from a good family. And that's the common situation for hundreds of years for many people. Yeah. So there wouldn't, we love, and you're operating within the idea of Romanticism because that's what you've culturally grown up in, what we have all culturally grown up in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the case always in history, because, you know, your parents, your mom and dad would have said, you're not marrying Austin because of XYZ, or you are marrying Austin because of XYZ. You know, arranged marriages were very common. And in the United States, you know, would just be like, you're not marrying that person. I mean, think about like even Jack and Rose, Titanic. But like that would have never happened. That's a romantic story that would have never, ever happened in real life in 1912, because the family, as we see, would have absolutely put the kibosh on her marrying anybody from a lower class. But see, to us in our romantic milieu, we think of that as a beautiful story, but that's romanticism that's telling that story.
She
that's
sleeps with a homeless guy and then pushes him off of her little door and lets him die.
Yeah. So romantic.
So romantic.
But
yes.
people should look into romanticism, because it's been an enormous influence on how we think about relationships in the 21st century.
You have to marry her because she has huge tracts of land.
Well, as we're about to transition to Judaism, can I just say, so divorce is permitted in Judaism, but in Orthodox Judaism, it's called a get, which is a Jewish rite of divorce. So that's required, and it can only be initiated by the husband. And I think it's the same in the Muslim religion as well, based on that movie. What's it called? Betty Moody. Her name is Betty Moody, and she was in a relationship.
Not without Mahmoudi.
Yes.
Yeah, she was not without my daughter, Sally Field.
Yes, and she
Yes.
was trying to get out of a relationship with her husband, who was Muslim, and they wouldn't let her. Like, he had to initiate it first.
I don't want to get off the rails, but we are getting towards the end of the show, and
I just wanted to say, since we're transitioning.
Sure, we got a lot. Still got a lot to do. And Saint Selma, for the very first time, is in the chat. I've never seen Saint Selma. They said, "Hey, you used my favorite music riddle. I've been using that one for a long time." Did Justin say a music riddle? What was
I
the
did
music
about the Bach.
I thought it was like
about the organ.
Okay, I thought it said riddle. I was like, it was a joke, but welcome to the chat, by the way, Saint Selma. If today's your first time here, please click the follow button before you leave. We'd love to have you be a regular guest here on the Wake Up America show. We got to wrap things up here with Justin as my Freedom Family friends.
I got to get Hazel.
Coming
Should
to an
I go
end.
grab her?
She's got to go get the bonus baby. We got to give away a box of coffee. Justin, is there anything else that you want to share with our audience before we let you go today, my loving brother?
I am loving. I'm very loving. To a fault. If you want to learn more about, singing and all the stuff I do, it's non-political. I write over at justinpeterson.substack.com, and you can subscribe for free, or you can do a year-long membership and get access to my archives. You can't take lessons with me, though, because I'm functionally full in my voice to you, and I've got a wait list. So you can get on my wait list if you want to.
He's got a wait list. Justin Peterson, if you're into music, I think Saint Selma might be. Check him out, Justin Peterson, Substack. Remember, his last name is spelled S-E-N, and you can get on his mailing list as well. Justin, love you, brother. See you soon.
Love you, too.
I don't know what else to do.
You're a stupid motherfucker, you know that?
I've heard it said.
What, are you proud of it?
You killed me, and a dark cloud goes over Shlomo's house. Either way, there'll be no get unless restitution is made.
You really would let me kill you, wouldn't you, you sick fuck?
You ever heard of the Masada? For 2 years, 900 Jews held their own against 15,000 Roman soldiers. They chose death before enslavement. And the Romans, where are they now?
You're looking at him, asshole.
Yeah, you're looking at him. Sorry for the bad language. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. It is time for us to say goodbye, but not without our bonus baby. Hi, baby Hazel. It's your dada. Hi, she loves her dada, doesn't she?
She does. She gets so excited to see him.
Thank you guys for unlocking the bonus baby.
Dada.
Dada. That's right.
She talks, we swear.
She does. Can you say hi,
She's a little
dada?
shocked.
Hi, dada. Oh, yeah, I'm just a little shy. I'm just kind of waiting until my daddy gives me a big hug, and then I'll start talking and saying things.
She's doing ASMR with her fingernails
There
on
we
the
go.
microphone.
Here's the baby ASMR. Isn't she beautiful, Joni? Look at her. Gorgeous.
She's almost 1 year old in just a couple weeks.
Her birthday's coming up. We're going to have a big old birthday party, aren't we, Hazel Rose? Yes. The bonus baby content today, the money that you guys sent us goes to help support Baby Hazel and all of our missions over here at the For Liberty Network. We're so grateful to have all of you, and Baby Hazel appreciates it as well, right? Right, baby? Yeah? Oh, goodness. All right, you want to come to Dad? Huh? For the last part? Here we go. Yes. Oh, yes. She loves your Dad. Guys, thanks so much for all that you do for the For Liberty Network. Don't forget to check us out tonight. 8 p.m. Central Time, we'll be playing Freedom Arcade. Come play Call of Duty with us. You can actually be on the show. And you can be in our Discord channel. It's the Freedom Arcade Discord channel. So it's right here at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. Although it is for premium subscribers only, so you have to be a Rumble premium subscriber in order to be able to get access to our premium content here on Rumble. And we're going to get this boogie out of there. We're going to change this baby's diaper, and we're going to have a little breakfast. We're going to have a great day. Yeah, and we hope that you guys have a great weekend, right, Hazel? Huh?
Be free.
Be free. Bye, guys.
Constitution requires the president to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Yet President Donald Trump has not only refused to enforce the federal law banning TikTok, but his administration has also told multiple tech companies that they may openly violate the TikTok ban without incurring any legal liability, because the Department of Justice is irrevocably relinquishing any claims against the companies for the conduct prescribed in the act. But wait, may the president do that? May Trump encourage private parties to violate a duly enacted federal law while simultaneously vowing to free them from present and future liability for their lawbreaking? Is that constitutional? American presidents have certainly disagreed over the years with some of the laws that they were charged with enforcing, and some presidents have even flat out declined to enforce what they found disagreeable. Thomas Jefferson, for example, viewed the Sedition Act of 1798 as wholly unconstitutional, and therefore refused to effectuate it when he became president in 1800. As justification, Jefferson pointed to his presidential oath of office. To enforce an unconstitutional law, Jefferson maintained, would require him to violate his sworn oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. The Sedition Act was unconstitutional and null, Jefferson argued, and my obligation to execute what was law involved that of not suffering rights secured by valid laws to be prostrated by what was no law. The Obama administration did something similar in 2011 when Attorney General Eric Holder announced that the Justice Department would stop defending the 1996 Defense of Marriage Act, DOMA, in federal court because, in its view, DOMA violated the constitutional rights of same-sex couples. This is the rare case, Holder argued, where the proper course is to forgo the defense of this statute. So, the idea of a president refusing to give force to a federal law is not unprecedented and is not necessarily a violation of the Take Care Clause of the Constitution. However, unlike Jefferson or Barack Obama, Trump has not objected to the TikTok ban on constitutional grounds. Rather, Trump's argument is that he possesses the independent authority to set aside the TikTok ban while he attempts to line up a new buyer for the Chinese-owned social media platform. And where, you may ask, does Trump locate that novel power? Where else? In the president's unique constitutional responsibility for the national security of the United States, the conduct of foreign policy, and other vital executive functions. In other words, Trump argues that executive power alone...
Sorry, guys, we forgot about the coffee giveaway. You know what happens when you got the baby on there. We have picked a winner, though, and the winner is for the free box of Founding Flavors coffee this month for our monthly subscribers is... Nelson Otto. So Nelson, if you're still listening, you have won the free box of Founding Flavors coffee. And if you don't like coffee, you don't drink coffee, we do have tea, so we can substitute for you, no problem. But thank you to everyone who supports the Wake Up America show. We appreciate you guys, and thanks for understanding about the giveaway. Nelson Otto, congratulations. You are the winner of the monthly prize giveaway. See ya.
Here at Alligator Alcatraz, the fence keeps them in. But slip up, and you're on my plate.
Looks like breakfast is making a run for it. We got 3 hot meals trying to check out early from Alligator Alcatraz.
They can splash, they can sprint, but there's no escaping Alligator Alcatraz.
Caught 2.
The third?
The swamp's got its own way of catching runaways.
Mama was wrong. Gators don't need toothbrushes. Just an honest job making America great again.